So when it was over, I said, well, what did you think? And Jack said, well, did it never occur to you that you might have children? and then the younger one said, well, I thought it was great, Mom, but scarring. Thank you.
First of all, I mean, I really, I love you for so many reasons. And I love that you don't really, some people really care about their age and saying the number. How old did you just turn?
59.
59 years old. That's great. This is the new issue of Us Weekly, and this is you in 1978, which you look exactly the same. That's what's amazing. Look at that. No, you do.
I mean, I think you would know that it's me, but I wouldn't say we looked exactly the same. Maybe if I...
No. No, I think you look pretty much exactly like that still.
Thanks.
Yeah, you look great.
Thanks.
And now, recently, I know you went to go see, you received an award where you took your kids to, that you thought would be an innocent...
Are you talking about Lincoln Center?
Yeah.
When we did the thing? Yeah, you see, my kids aren't really interested in seeing any of my films.
No.
Unless they're in it. And then they get the tape and they fast forward to the part that they're in. So they really hadn't seen, you know, for the longest time they kind of thought I worked in a trailer.
Yeah. Well, you do.
Yeah, and I do.
Yeah.
And, but for the Lincoln Center tribute, which turned out to be a really big deal, you know, it's like a really major award, and there aren't too many women, I think I actually hardly any women that they give it to, and blah, 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 blah. I thought they should go, and I think...
and they hadn't seen these?
They hadn't seen anything. Well, they saw, again, they saw bits and pieces of like Stepmom, and I think they saw Little Women, but that was about it.
Really?
Yeah, they're not too interested. They saw Elizabethtown, but that was about it. And so I guess Jack was, let's see, I think he was 10 or 11. Anyway, what happened was that as I sat there, I realized that they might be showing clips, which I hadn't thought about. And then I thought, well, they might be showing clips maybe they shouldn't see. And that I hadn't thought about. And so as the different ones, because I had really cool people that were talking from Gore Vidal to David Bowie, but that David Bowie, then, you know, that film was a little bit risque.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Bull Durham.
Bull Durham with their father and yeah. And so as they started to come up, I thought, well, how, you know, this is New York. Maybe this is, I don't know. Anyway, they sat through the whole thing, and every time there'd be something that would be slightly, because, you know, your kids don't really think that you even existed before they did. And they certainly don't think that you ever had sex even with their father. So when they see someone kissing even, they consider that sex. And anyway, so every time there'd be something even slightly racy, I'd look over and, you know, Jack would be going, you know. And then my daughter was just laughing hysterically to see how the boys were reacting. And the little one, who was like, well, let's see, 3 years ago, so he was 10. So when it was over, I said, well, what did you think? And Jack said, well, did it never occur to you that you might have children? and then the younger one said, well, I thought it was great, Mom, but scarring.
That's hilarious.
So that was the last that they've
That's
seen.
hilarious. We have to take a break. We'll be right back with Susan Sarandon after this. We're back with Susan Sarandon.
So remember that. If Bill Banyan was there, definitely cremation.
Yeah, that's the good rule
rule
of thumb.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's from Elizabethtown. And you play Cameron Crowe's mom. This is based on a
Yes,
true
it's
story.
pretty autobiographical. I mean, he takes, you know, he skews it a bit here and there, but yes, it's basically been inspired by his life. And, you know, it's a comedy.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
And how was it, his mom was on the set a lot, right?
His mom was on the set practically all the time, and she told me at one point, you know, he didn't want her to talk to me, but I think she does what she wants to, no matter what he says. And she told me that everything I say in the movie, which you've seen, is true.
Really?
Yeah. I won't give away some of the stuff, but
yeah.
So it's difficult because you've got somebody there you want to honor them, and at the same time you have to make it work. So
yeah.
it's hard.
I don't know if you saw this. We're asking people to send in their worst and best costumes from Halloween. And I know you had a large family, right? How many?
I'm the
kids?
eldest of 9.
9.
Back in the days when you didn't go to the store and buy your entire costume, so we would make ours. And it was a huge thing when we finally figured out to use plastic bags, because when you'd be dragging them around to the suburban, little tiny place that I lived, the bottom always went out of somebody's bag because it would be wet,
Yeah.
And as the eldest, you'd have to be picking everything up. But I think the costume that we had that then I passed on to future generations, the idea of it was roadkill.
Oh, really?
Where you just had to have a yellow line up you and like a Davy Crockett smashed hat that was like in the middle with some ketchup and stuff. And that could be passed on because it wasn't really form-fitting. So we did road. This was in New Jersey. There was a lot of roadkill.
Yeah. Well, that's soothing to think about. It really is. Yeah. Well, thanks for that idea. We're always looking for, for ideas for Halloween. Anybody gonna be roadkill that's appealing? All right, couple of takers. All right, you want to stick around? Stevie Wonder's gonna perform.
I talk about road trips like in Elizabethtown. Stevie Wonder all the time, the best. I mean, you know, you just energy from that cassette when you would put that in, or we didn't have DVDs then when I was taking road trips before children.
Right.
But that Stevie Wonder's the best.
I know.
The best.
So stick around if you can and listen to him. Elizabethtown is currently playing in theaters. The Piedmont Bird Callers joins us first, and then Stevie. But you have to see the Bird Callers first, then Stevie.
All right. And what's behind the door that comes
And then what's behind the door, too. All right, we'll be right back.